Welcome back to Tech Talk. My name is Brian, and today I'm going to be talking about another secret $1 billion industry. This is one of those industries that most people do not know exists. The industry I'm talking about is actually, again, is in IT, is actually used in marketing and fraud, but actually is something that's called geofencing. So, geofencing, the market is forecast to reach $2.3 billion by 2025. And I'm actually going to incorporate IP tracking, and I'm going to explain what all that is right now. So here's another $2.3 billion industry. So first off, what is geofencing? So geofencing is a location-based service in which an app or other software program uses radio frequency identification, which is RFID, Wi-Fi, GPS, or cellular data, or Bluetooth to trigger a targeted marketing action, such as a text, email, social media advertising, or app notification. So one simple example is if you ever walked in the mall and you walk by a store and you notice a text message or a social media notification or an email pop up, there's no coincidence. What they were using is technology that's called geofencing. So here's an example of what that looks like. So here's a map. You see the purple area. Basically, you're able to create a virtual perimeter or fence. And basically, whenever you enter that perimeter, then something is triggered. So in this example, you see there's an offer that pops up. Again, if this ever happened to you in the store, this is exactly what is happening. So the other technology, which is closely related to this, is called IP tracking. So first off, that sounds scary, right? But the reality is that it happens to you every single day. You touch the internet, your IP address is being monitored. Don't freak out. So first off, what is an IP address? So an IP address or internet protocol address is a unique numerical code that is associated with each internet connected device on a computer network. So being your cell phone, tablet, laptop, desktop, all of these things, when they touch the internet, they have what is called an IP address. So an IP tracker is a software tool that makes it possible to convert an IP address into a host name and identify various types of information that is associated with that host name. So depending on how the tracking software is configured, the data capture may include location, contact telephone numbers, and other data. Don't freak out. So one of the best use cases for this is something that I actually do on my 9 to 5. I actually, the subject matter in this at my job, kind of unfortunately, but fortunately at the same time. So in the case of fraud, say for instance, you are applying on a website for a credit card, right? These websites have the ability to install software that basically is able to track or identify where IP address is located. So just say, for instance, you go on a particular website, you want to get a loan, whether it be JCPenney, Macy's, whatever, and you apply for the loan, you put your address in as 123 Miami Avenue, right? If the IP address notices that you are not in Miami at that particular time, then it could put up a red flag that there's some potential fraud because, again, you said that your address is in Miami, but then at the time of you applying for this application, you are in a whole different city or country. So that's one very practical use case. It's huge in the fraud industry. So here's a sample of what that looked like. So with your IP address, they could actually see, and again, all of this information is public. So it's scary. Don't freak out. There's ways that you can hide this. I'll talk about that in other videos. For the time being, just realize that all this is public information. So they could actually pinpoint where your exact location is, from where you actually using the device. You could actually find out what internet company you're using or cell phone service you're using. You could actually tell what web browser you're using. And by default, you could tell what type of computer you're using because not all web browsers work on Windows. Some are for Mac, right? You can tell that the city that you're in, the longitude and latitude, postal code, area code, and even the continent that you're on, obviously. So once again, it's amazing the stuff that could be seen from IP addresses. And it's amazing that there are companies that actually monetize this information. Again, it's used highly in fraud, but it also is used in marketing. So companies like Google, Facebook, all these companies use these two types of technology that I'm talking about. But again, the technology themselves is $1 billion industry. Once again, it's $1 billion industry that you don't even hear about as much. So if you have an opportunity to invest in an IP tracking or geolocating software, once again, I highly encourage you to get involved. My name is Brian, and I'm actually going to be, my next video, I'm actually going to be showing you, we're going to take a deep dive into Google and Google ads and all the good stuff. So stick around, subscribe to my channel, and be on the lookout for that video coming the next day or two. Once again, my name is Brian from Tech Talk. You have a great day.